Hello everybody, welcome to my new beading channel. This is called Medicine Beads, and I really like the name Medicine Beads just because whenever I do beadwork, I feel like it is a little bit of medicine for me. It helps me to de-stress a lot. I'm going to do an awful lot more talking towards the end of the video so you don't have to listen to me talk too much, but I did come from another channel which I still have running, and that was called Survival Crafts. And on that channel, I've done a lot of really interesting beadwork to do with survival and crafting, but I wanted to do something a little bit more dedicated to beadwork alone because it seems people have a little bit of interest in beadwork on my other channel, but they're really more geared up for survival. So I'll talk a little bit more later on about that and put some links to some of the cool beadwork I've done on there. But this is dedicated fully to just beadwork. I have a lot of really different ideas that I want to share. And so, yeah, let's get started. The first project I wanted to do on here is, this is a cooksa that my husband made for me. I've started and stopped this video so many times, but I just put a little loop through the handle of the cooksa. So what is a cooksa? This is a miniature model of a regular size cooksa, and a cooksa is something that we use in the bushcraft world. It's a full-size cup that we just carve out of wood so we can drink water and coffee and tea and that sort of thing. But my husband made this really cute little tiny one for me, and I wanted to do something special with it. I wanted to do some beadwork for it and create it into a little necklace. So because I already started the video, I did put a little loop in. It's pretty easy. You use some thread, put it through the hole in the cooksa, I think I had 20 beads on here, and tied some knots and tied that off because I needed a loop to hang my cooksa on my necklace. I've got a variety of different beads that I'll be using for my cooksa. And so what I want to do is start out by doing some herringbone. And what I've done earlier as well, let me just get my thread removed and untwisted from everything else around me. So what I did earlier as well is I also created a little loop on my clasp. And this is a magnetic clasp. So I created a little loop on here, and I'll be using that to start my my herringbone base. And I actually want this to be a tubular herringbone, and I started off with my my gold beads here, and I'm going to be interspersing them into the red ones. So I'm primarily my color is going to be red. I may add some black, I don't know. I might even add some of these sort of turquoise or howlite beads, but I really want to integrate these beautiful beads here. I love the colors of them. So anyway, here's what I am going to do. I am going to start my my herringbone stitch, and I'm going to add 2 beads here, and actually, no, I'm gonna make this into a sort of a 4. So just bear with me. One of the things that I've been challenging myself with is I see all these other bead workers, and I see the incredible things that they do. I see the beautiful beadwork that they actually create, and I've always felt that that's an area that I've not done particularly well with, that I'm not a very creative person. So I decided to challenge myself a little bit and try to do some just designing as I go. And I know I have to keep it very simple right now, just because I'm not, like I say, I'm not a really creative person. So this is my way of trying to practice becoming a creative person. So I've got 6 size 11 beads on here in a circle. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using the bead that my thread's coming out of, and then the bead beside it, sort of as a base, but I need to square stitch some other beads onto this so I can make it, I can actually make it workable, but I could also, actually, no, that's too tight. Okay, so I'm going to square stitch. I'm going to pick up another bead of the same color, and I'm coming out of this bead, and I'm simply going to come back up just that one bead, like that. If I can get my thread through. Some of these beads are a little bit tight, so it's hard for me to do that. And then I'm going to go back down that same bead. So I'm just going back down the same bead. I'm going to pull it tight so they kind of sit next to each other. And now I'll pick up another bead. And I'm gonna, my thread is coming out the bottom. I'm actually gonna go in through the top and come down. And now I'll come back up that same bead. And I'm gonna find a way to kind of connect these other ones in a bit, but I just wasn't really thinking very well when I started this design. So, and now this bead over here, I'm going to come up that one. Hopefully you can see that. So I've essentially got this little base of beads here. And it's kind of hard to see right now. I apologize, but I just can't get them to sit properly at the moment. Let's see if I can make them sit better. It's challenging because I've also got this this magnetic clasp that keeps attaching to my needle, but that's okay. I'll figure out the rest of this a little bit later on, but for now I just want to put a base on. So I'm going to pick up 2 red beads. I'm coming out of this bead. The one beside it is the one that I'm going to go down. So I'll go down that one. Try to keep my fingers in frame. So I'm going to go down that bead. I'm going to pull. So I've come down through this bead. I'm going to go up this next bead here and pull. I just want to sort that bead out a little bit better so they're sitting side by side. I'm just going to stick my thumb under it to make it sit where I want. So I put these 2 beads on. I went down the gold bead that's just below this red one, and then I've come back up this gold bead beside the other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up 2 more red beads, and I'm coming out of this bead here. I'm going to go down the one next to it. Okay, and now what I have to do is I have to come up this gold bead and the red bead as a step up. Sorry, I'm not really focusing my hands in the center of the camera. This is a bit of an awkward position for me actually, because I'm using an iPad and it's way over to my left hand side. And so the center of the camera is it's just in an awkward position, but I'll do my best to stay in frame here. So I'm just going to pull up now, and I'm sort of back at the beginning. I'm going to turn my work a little bit here. I'm going to pick up 2 more beads, 2 more red beads. And then I'm going to go down just that red bead there. So I'm coming out of, use my other needle, so my thread's coming out of that one. I'm going down, so I'm coming up with my thread out of that one, I'm going down in the bead beside it. I'm going to turn my work a little bit so you can see there's a stack of 2 red there and only 1 here, so I'll have to go up that single red bead there. And pull. I'm going to rotate it. So you can see on this side there's just the 2 single red beads. So I will pick up 2 more red beads. And I'm going to go down this red bead. So I'm coming out of this one on this side. I'm going to go down the one beside it and just the red bead and pull. And sometimes you have to make them sit properly. There we go. Now I have to turn because I'm sort of getting back to the beginning. I have to go back up these 2 red beads right here. If I can get my needle in there. Really is an awkward position to try and film in, but I'm going to use a different camera next time. I think this one's just a little too difficult to film on my own with. There. And I'm turning again, so I'm now ready to add a couple more red beads on there. And I'm going to just do the red beads, this sort of tubular herringbone, for quite a while until I get enough length that I can start adding in some decorative pieces. So hopefully now you've got this herringbone stitch. So I'm going to just, coming out of that one, I'm going to go down through just 1 red bead, turn, and so you can see I've got 3 red stacks there, 3 there, so that means I've got to come up 2 beads. I'm stepping up. Not sure if I explained that very well, but I'm going to turn my work one more time. So I've got 3 red stacks on that side. And if I pick up 2 more red beads and just go down 1 red bead there. And pull, rotate. Now I've got to go just up 1 red bead here because there's only a stack of 3. Rotate. And pick up my 2 red beads. I'm just going to go down 1 red bead there. And this is just sort of a very simple tubular herringbone. And I'm going to show this method in a better way in a future video. I just wanted to kind of show you I just wanted to show you my first video and kind of get that up and going. So now I'm back to the beginning, which means I have to step up. That means I've got to go through 2 beads. So I am going to continue this until I have enough length. I probably want to get to about there on my bead board. So I'm going to do that much with my red beads, and when I'm done that, I will come back. I thought I'd come back in and show you a little bit of my progress. So I'm just under halfway there. So it's starting to really come together. So yeah, I'll just continue on, but I wanted to stop and show you a little bit of progress at least. Okay, so I am back and I've got a fair amount done. So I think I'm going to start my process of adding these guys in. And now this is going to be a little bit different from what I have been doing. Now I just want to say that this This video is not really meant to be a tutorial, although you could probably use it as one if you wanted to stop the video a few times and kind of go back and see what I've been doing, to try and figure out what I've been doing, rather. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time explaining what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, but I will spend a little bit of time, and hopefully you get sort of an idea of how I'm doing what I'm doing. But again, this is not really meant to be a tutorial. Other videos I'm going to do really good tutorials on this, but this is just sort of to get the channel started and get my creative mind going. So I'm going to just continue on adding my herringbone stitch here, but I'm going to add some other steps into it. So once again, I'm coming out of this bead here. I'm going to go into the bead next to it after I've picked up 2 beads, and let's give that a little pull. Now normally I would be going up this bead here, but before I do that, I am going to pick up a gold bead and then go up the next bead. I have to start widening my stitch so I can make it big enough to fit in my my little jade stone there. So I'll pick up my 2 beads and going down. And this is also where I have to do my step up. So before I do that, I pick up my gold bead and I'm going to go up 2. And I will pick up 2 red beads, go down, so I'm going to continue the process of making this wider. So instead of picking up 1, we'll pick up 2 and go up that next bead there. So I'll put 2 in place. Pick up my 2 red beads and go down. Pick up my 2 gold beads, and now I'm doing my step up again as well, so I now have to go up 2 red beads. It can be a little bit tight here. And there we go. You can see how it's widening out. And again, I'm going to pick up my 2 red beads, going down, and I'll pick up 3 gold beads this time, and go up my 1 bead. Pick up my 2 red, go down that 1 red bead there, get them to sit right. Okay, again, this is going to be my step up, so I'll pick up my 3 gold beads, and I got to step up through 2. Get it to go through them. There we go. And now I'm kind of squeezing my beads here a little bit just to pop them out, because they can tend to get shoved inside the herringbone spot there. So this is going to be my last increase before I put my my stones on. And now I'm going to pick up 4, and I think I'm going to just see how it looks with the black beads against that stone. I'm going to just hold it up and see if I actually like that. I think that looks kind of cool. Or is it better against the gold? Oh, I think I might just keep that black and just see. Okay, and then 2 red again. Down that bead. Four black. And then up 2. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different here, because as I have been doing, I'm making this wider in order to accommodate for these big round guys here. So I've got the width fairly good there, but I don't have the height I need to build up. So what I'm going to do is something a little bit different. I'll still pick up my 2 red beads, and I will go down 2 instead of down 1. So I'm going to go down 2. This is just to accommodate those big beads because I've got to build that height. Otherwise it'll look a bit silly. And now I'm going to go through these black beads, the whole row of the black beads. And I'm going to come up those 2 beads there, the 2 red beads. Okay, so all I'm doing is just trying to build the height of the red side. Okay, and I'll pick up the 2 red beads. I'm going to go back down 2. And then I'm going to go through the black beads on this side. Sorry, I keep going out of frame, I think. So go through those black beads on that side. And now I'm going to have to go up 3 beads. To change angle here. There we go. And up those 3 red beads. Now I still want to push these beads outwards though. I don't want to flatten them or shove them inside. I need to kind of round this out a bit so we can have room for those, for the round beads. So I'm ready now to put those on. So I picked up my regular 2. I'm going to go down 1. I'll pick up my green bead and I will go up 1. And I just want to make sure that all of my beads below are pushed out where they need to be so they can be, I can see them really well. And now I will pick up my 2 red beads again. I will go down 1. And I'm sort of squeezing this together just to keep these beads popped out. I will pick up another of my jade beads. So this is my step up. I'm now going to go up 2. Now, I still have to accommodate for height on this side. So you can see that these are all, this is actually a little bit higher than these two. So I have to do sort of the same process as I did with these black ones, in that I will pick up my 2 red beads. I'm going to go down 2, make those sit properly, through the jade bead, up 2 red, and I found that this really made the these sit out a little bit nicer here. So okay, and then I'm going to pick up my 2 beads again. I'm going to go down 2, back through my jade bead, and now I have to go up 3. There we go. So now everything is sort of back to normal. I just now have to decrease everything. So I will pick up my red beads and go down. Just the 1 red bead below. I can pick up my 4 black now. And I can go up 1 bead. Pick up 2 red. Go down 1 below it. Pick up my 4 black. And I'm stepping up, so I've got to go up 2 beads. There we go. 2 red. Go down this red. Now I have to pick up 3 gold. Two red. Three gold, and since I'm doing a step up, it means I have to go up through 2 beads on this side. Just gonna continue the decrease here. Now I'm down to 2 gold. Up that 1 red. Down 2. Pick up 2 gold. And once again, I'm stepping up, so I have to go up 2 red. But I want to make sure my 3 gold below stay popped out. I really don't want to lose those. My 2 red. Pick up 1 gold and up 1 red. Again, I'm just going to squeeze all of this together. I really want those all those gold to stand out. I really don't want to lose them in there. 2 red, and down. Pick up my 1 gold, my step up, so I go up through 2, and there we have it. And now, once again, I'm just going back to straight herringbone. And so what I'm going to do is now I'm simply going to do, I think maybe 10 rows or so, and then I'll do this process again. All right, well, I've got a couple of these little additions on, and really all I have to do is I'm probably going to just put a couple more of those on and then put this in the center and then just kind of finish that off. But I'm not going to do that on this video. Really, I'll show you the finished product on the next video that I do. And the next video that I do is probably going to be a little bit of a review of 2 beading subscriptions that I have sort of taken a real liking to. Quite by accident, I came across these bead subscription boxes, and 2 people did the reviews of them. One of them is the $1 bead box, which is out of the United States, and the ladies that did the review showed everything within the bead boxes and talked a little bit about the benefits of becoming a subscriber to it. And it's not that much money. It's I believe it was $18 or $20 US, which is, you know, a fair bit more for me here in Canada. But I also wanted to see if there's a Canadian one, and so I found one called Blueberry Cove, and it's really interesting. It's quite unique. I've seen 3 YouTube reviews on it, and they're all really quite positive. One lady decided to unsubscribe because she said that it was not her style of beading. Not that there was anything wrong with the beads or the service or anything like that, but she just kind of felt that it was not really her style of beads. And so what I decided to do was I'm going to unbox the 2 of them together once I receive them. So I'll do that on camera for you, so you can see the different the differences in the 2 subscriptions. But what's unique about the Blueberry Cove one is the fact that they have these really cool little cards in there, and on the back of the card it talks a little bit about the inspiration behind the bead box itself, and then it issues a little challenge for you to create some sort of beadwork out of it. So I thought that's what I would do, is I would have the 2 subscriptions if they come close enough together. I'm not gonna wait forever, but if they kind of come around the same time as each other, then I think what my intention will be is to unbox them together so you can see the differences and the similarities, of course, and then I'll take the Blueberry Cove challenge. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed just watching me go through this little challenge here for myself, and I will certainly be getting some really neat tutorials up. Some of the cool things that I've been really doing and changing is, for example, there are so many tutorials on how to bezel these stones, these crystals, and I have come up with a couple of really cool ways that I like, that I find so much easier. To actually bezel this is not hard, but I found that really trying to center the stone has been a real challenge to me. And this one's not so bad because it's actually comes from Potomac Bead Company, and and you can actually use these with both ends open, but some of them have a foil back on one side, and I like to completely cover that because the foil back, if it rubs off, you lose your coloring in the front of the stone itself. So I like to completely cover it, and I've come up with some really cool ways of doing that. I have lots of other really neat little plans of different types of bezels, like how to bezel a triangle and do all sorts of cool things like that. How to create little beaded medicine bag purses, how to do little round tube ones, how to create your own little aromatherapy necklace. So a lot of really different, really cool things will be coming out. I'm also going to be doing some very traditional Aboriginal beadwork from my culture, and so I'll show you a few cool little projects around that. But anyway, thanks for watching, and please give us a like and subscribe, and thanks for watching this video. Bye-bye.